Which one's better? So we've been playing around with the idea of starting a few different mini-series for a little while now, and we finally landed on this one. So welcome to our first episode of Which is Better. Today we're going to be exploring which is better for 3-color tabletop, regular acrylics or speed paints. So the idea behind this video was to see which painting method would give you the best results in similar amounts of time. So in order to make this comparison as close as possible, we gave ourselves a 30-minute time limit, and we tried to pick colors from Warpaints Fanatic and from speed paints that were as close to the same as possible so that we could get a very similar result on each miniature. We took some intercessors that were the exact same miniature and put them together so they will be the exact same thing in the exact same pose with as close to the exact same colors as possible. I primed both of them in a zenithal prime, so we have the exact same base as well. So I do want to mention that all of the paints used in this video were sent to us for free by the Army Painter, so special thanks to them for supporting our channel, and let's get started. So now that we've got these minis mostly put together and primed the exact same way, we're going to go ahead and set our timer and get started. So I figured I'd go ahead and start this whole thing off with speed paints, and before you say anything, yes, I did forget to pick out my brushes to start with, so I spent the first whole minute trying to pick out what brushes I wanted to use instead of actually painting. So I'm not entirely happy with the way this paint job turned out because I was under pressure and I wasn't thinking as clearly as I should have been. And so I picked a brush that was a little bit too small for all of the blue, and we got some coffee staining in that. I think that this paint job would have turned out a lot better had I chosen a more appropriately sized brush to get this base coat down, but I think it still gives us a good idea of what things would look like in the end. And now it's time to move on to regular acrylics. So 30-minute timer and go. So regular acrylics don't move quite as easily as the speed paints do or as quickly, so they take just a little bit longer. I wound up going completely to the wire on this one and feeling like I still could have done a lot to make this paint job better, but to stay in line with our time frame and keep everything as even as possible, we just went with it. So now both of them are painted and it's time for the big reveal. Let's see which one's better. So I think both painting methods have their merits. I like how clean the regular acrylics turned out. I feel like they're just a bit cleaner and just look a bit nicer than the speed paints. However, the speed paints give you more color depth. You have more of a gradient between your highlights and your darks, and it just makes the overall miniature feel like it has a little bit more life than the flat regular acrylics. I don't know which one I like more, honestly. Brian seems to like the speed paints more. He thinks that they turned out better, but why don't you let us know what you think in the comments? Which one's better, speed paints or acrylics for 3-color tabletop? Again, a big thank you to Army Painter for sending us those paints. We really appreciate your support of our channel, and just thank you so much for it. I want to remind you guys to go over and check out our Squarespace. We're still in the process of moving our whole Etsy shop over to Squarespace, so Etsy is still open in the meantime if you have any of those miniatures from DM Stash that you want to get, or the campaigns or anything. Links to all of our social medias are also available on our Squarespace website, so come follow us everywhere. We've got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it, we've got it. We're also taking commissions, so if you have any miniatures that you want commissioned by us, you can contact us through the Contact Us page on our Squarespace, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But we want to thank you guys so much for being a part of our community and a part of our growing channel. It means the absolute world to us. So you guys freaking rock, but we'll see you guys next time.